Welcome to What the example of what CNN would look like if they didn't have news or standards or money. Let's get a preview of tonight's show from John Vink. Hey John, what do we have in store for tonight's show?
Thanks, Jim. On tonight's show, we're going to hear some lies. There's going to be bad jokes. There's going to be terrible puns. And moments of extreme awkwardness. Back to you.
Gee, John, you gotta be more specific in your intros. Anyways, that could be any show. Anyways, hey, they say they've beaten 1,000,000,001 odds just to be here. But enough about lottery winners struck by lightning. Let's meet tonight's panel. In the far chair, it's International Woman of Intrigue, Cynthia Gregory. She's so mysterious, Ed Snowden is still reading her emails. In the middle chair, it's Nurse and Suburban Squirrel, Frankie J. She's so smart, kids have quit snorting Smarties and now just sniff her. In between them, they say he could open a beer can with Justice Genitalia, but we only know him as Attorney at Law Bill Patterson. Finally, sitting next to me is Program Director Kate Swanson. She's so charming she convinced Saudi Arabia to celebrate Yom Kippur this year. Issue number 1. Will too much praise send kids astray? Researchers found that adults seem to naturally give more inflated praise to children with low self-esteem. But while children with high self-esteem thrive on inflated praise, kids with low self-esteem actually shrink from new challenges when adults go overbroad in praising them. Quote, parents seem to think that the children with low self-esteem needed to get extra praise to make them feel better, unquote, said the co-author of the study. Quote, it's understandable why adults would do that, but we found in another experiment that this inflated praise can backfire in these children, unquote. But you know who doesn't need any more praise? These guys.
Hi, ich bin's Michel und ich bin Sven und wir zeigen euch heute unseren ultimativen Trick.
Well, I guess we know one kid who won't need any more praise. I think he's dead. Hey, Cynthia, excessive praise of children, bad for them, agree or disagree?
Specifically the article said giving praise to children, too much praise to children who have low self-esteem.
Right.
So looking at you, I would say that this actually has proved detrimental to you. You know, anybody with such low self-esteem that you have to come on to, broadcast television to prove your self-worth obviously needs some additional help. And I have a great therapist for you.
Wow. Well, I thought that was a very brilliantly succinct answer there, Cynthia. And it's not broadcast TV, it's cable access. We're not regulated by the FCC, so I could say dirty words all I want.
The good news is I never got praise as a child, so anything you say to me will just kind of roll right off my shoulders. I get all my self-worth right from me.
Yeah, and little battery-powered devices.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's true. So, anyways, Frankie, agree or disagree?
Yeah, well, maybe
Excessive praise bad for kids with low self-esteem. Agree or disagree?
too much inflated praise to anybody is going to seem like you're lying to the kid, and kids know when you're lying to them. So it could be detrimental to somebody with low self-esteem. It's like, oh man, give me a break. I know exactly what you're doing, and I still feel really low.
Do you think it's the praise itself or how the praise is delivered?
Probably both, but
Right.
mostly how the praise is delivered. That's good pickup on your part.
Really? Do you really think that is the case? That's a really good job, Frank.
That was extremely insightful.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Was I able to pull it off there, Kate?
You sold it so well. You just seemed like the most brilliant man I have ever heard on this panel. I mean, really.
Well, your insightfulness and your judge's character is superb. It's superb.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Is. It
Thank
really
you.
is. Now, so
Does
Kate,
it smell funny in here to you?
there we go. Oh, sorry.
No, but
We'll clean that up after the show.
Yeah.
Kate, you have kids, right?
I do have kids.
Do your kids have low self-esteem, high self-esteem, or a little bit of both?
Probably pretty high, I think.
Okay. So you praise them all the time to get the most out of them, right?
No.
No, you don't?
No. I really try not to lie to them. I just do mention that they're, some of the most intelligent people on the planet, and
But you're
gorgeous.
telling the truth, right?
Of course.
Okay. And they're precious snowflakes.
They are precious snowflakes,
And-
unique.
And how do they respond to new challenges?
Well, they don't ask me for advice.
Oh.
That's for sure.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's probably a good thing.
All right.
It's a good thing.
Now, hey, Mel, you're Tiger Dad, right? So what's your take on this?
Well, my daughter has high self-esteem, and I imagine it is because I gave her a lot of praise as she was growing up. But when I was growing up, the only person who ever praised me was me,
Okay. Really?
and I pretty much have the same problem as an adult. The only person who ever praises me is me.
Do you have high self-esteem or low self-esteem?
Well, I'm a lawyer, so
I don't know what to make of that. Counselor, I don't know what to make of that, Counselor. All right, but so you say your daughter has high self-esteem?
yeah, I think she does.
She's a strong, confident woman.
She is,
And-
except when it comes to money, and then
She
Then
still
she
calls
has-
comes her dad.
How about towards men? Strong, confident woman?
She's not going to tell me. She never tells me.
Okay. So you're just assuming she has high self-esteem.
Well, I, based on on the what she presents to me, yes. When it comes to guys, she knows that I have a shotgun, a shovel, and a backyard.
Well, that's just your attitude. What's her attitude? What's her self-esteem?
Well, her attitude is fear.
Okay.
well instilled by a strong father.
No. She's afraid of you. Is she afraid of the men?
No, she's afraid for the men.
So she's compassionate.
Yes.
But you're still ducking the self-esteem.
No.
All right. Okay. So I'll throw this out to the group. If excessive praise of kids with low self-esteem is bad for them, how would you encourage children with low self-esteem?
That was a question that was not answered by the article, and I was very curious to understand what the researchers thought of that, but they skirted that completely.
Yes, but Cynthia, since you're a brilliant and superlatively intelligent woman with an IQ that dwarfs
You forgot
super geniuses,
not
what would your
intelligent
take on it?
and good looking. Come on.
Right. So as the total package, I believe that's your nickname online. But
It is now.
How would you encourage children with low self-esteem to be more risk-taking and be more confident and assertive?
Well, I think you would do it with anybody. I've been a manager for a long time. I've never had children, but I think you do it the same way. Is you let folks build on their skills, and you let them see that they've accomplished something in a really good way, and let them be proud of their work and enjoy that, and give them praise for things that are truly praiseworthy.
Or alternatively, you can just lie to them.
Oh, Tiger Dad.
Tiger Dad.
All right, issue number 2. Would a pill you pick to learn a new trick? Harvard professor Takeo Hench is studying a drug that may make it dramatically easier for grown-ups to absorb new skills and information, as if they were 7 years old or younger. Hench used valproic acid, normally used to treat neurological disorders and seizures and epilepsy and other various mood disorders. Hench believes it may help restore plasticity in the adult brain. I had a hard time pronouncing plasticity. He was able to bestow the gift of perfect pitch to a group of adult males between the ages of 18 and 27 who previously had no musical training. Of course, having the brain capacity of a 7-year-old may have its drawbacks.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, I have no idea how this equates to that. Let's see him in 7 years and see how much better his physique is.
Well, sometimes being young, you have no inhibition. Anyway, hey Mel. Increasing brain plasticity through drugs. Great idea or a Pandora's box?
I think it's a great idea. If you're going to do drugs anyway, I mean, why not something that's going to increase your brain's plasticity?
Mel, given your past history of controlled substances, do you think playing with your brain is a good idea?
Well, it's better than playing with certain other parts.
Are you sure about that? Your brain controls a lot of stuff, Mel.
Good, you know, so there's other parts, but
Okay, so you'd volunteer for this, right?
yeah, sure, why not?
All
You
right.
know, people say I'm not much better than a 7-year-old anyway. So.
All right, but now you'll have a learning capacity of a
Well, hey, you know,
If there was a skill you could learn by taking this pill that you neglected to learn when you were actually 7, what would it be?
oh my God. There aren't very many skills that I don't have these days.
I mean, like
But
how to
it's
give a woman an orgasm.
well, 3 hours. I mean,
Oh,
a
there
3-hour orgasm.
There
That's,
you go.
you know,
You learned that?
I learned that.
Right.
You know, despite what John Vink would tell you.
Okay. Well, crawl before you walk.
That's right.
Walk before you run. So get up to a minute, then you can get up to a couple more minutes, and then eventually
That's
get to 3
right.
hours, right? Assuming you get the opportunity to practice.
I don't have your problem.
There you
you
go.
know.
That's true. Anyways, all right. Hey, Kate. Let's see here. Brain plasticity through drugs. What do you think?
I guess you can do that.
Would you do it for yourself?
I wouldn't do it for perfect pitch because that doesn't seem like the most valuable skill you could pick
But you
up.
could learn other skills, right?
I could learn other skills.
Right. Would there be any skills you wished you could learn that you did not
I
learn?
would like to learn to speak Italian.
Okay. So languages, that's a popular one. Right?
Languages, yeah. And I think younger kids learn languages better. So I think that'll be good.
You're not afraid of any side effects?
I don't really remember being 7, so I
Right.
don't know what I learned or didn't learn, so I guess I'm not afraid.
Okay. Don't worry. That's what the pens are for. Cynthia? Pandora's box, greatest idea ever.
I think it would be an absolutely fabulous idea, and I keep thinking that if I had the opportunity, and I would learn languages too, but I'd probably want to learn languages that were completely different. So the Romance languages are a given, but I would also really love to understand Asian languages, and they actually require some ability to hear pitch.
There you go.
So those two things could actually work together. On a serious note, then I'm usually serious, but other things I wouldn't mind learning is, or maybe relearning, would be physics and math. I think that would be, if you have a pliable brain, imagine if we could give this to Stephen Hawking. What else would he learn?
Yeah, I think his brain is very pretty pliable. Hey, Frankie, as the nurse, are you afraid of any side effects?
Yeah, well, side effects in the that they were mentioning valproic acid, which
Right.
is generic for Depakote. You really want to be careful of abnormal bleeding tendencies because it interferes with the cascade for clotting.
Okay.
So you could have abnormal bleeding at maybe inopportune
That's so
times.
cheerful.
So you're a genius, just don't cut yourself.
Exactly right, and don't do any physical activity like trimming your roses in case you get a little thorn in there, and you're like, oh my God.
So speaking of flowers, is this like flowers for Algernon? They'd give us the special medication, but once we stopped taking it, it would wear off when we'd be done again?
I don't know. I'm just told to
I
cut it
don't
off
know.
because we were running out of time. On to our first break. Back from our first break. Issue number 3. Is it better to imitate than innovate? According to the New India University study, it is often better to be surrounded by copycats than innovators. Cognitive scientists explore the dynamics, advantages, and disadvantages of social learning, the act of learning about the world by observing or imitating others. Quote, "We thought at first it would be better to have innovators around you," said one of the researchers. Quote, "But in our experiments, if people are surrounded by imitators, they actually do better," unquote. The reason is that imitators often make their own improvements to the original solution, and these can, in turn, be adopted and improved upon by the originator and others. I believe we have research footage here. And you can see the dog actually improve the situation by doing his leg squats up against the wall.
Exactly. Good for him.
There you go.
Smarter than the.
Hey, Frankie,
Yes.
imitation better than innovation? Agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree, because as the article said, somebody who starts imitating will take that imitation and will see possibilities to improve on it and expand it and maybe make it better. And that just goes down the line. If you've got a whole office of people going, I really like that idea, and listen to this. It's,
Okay.
or yes, and then we could do this. I love it.
So is this why the Chinese are kicking our butts?
Could be.
Okay.
But other than the
Because
fact,
they imitate and we innovate, right?
yeah, other than the fact that they're shorter than we are and they can get us easier.
Oh, is that the secret? Mm-hmm. Is there any processes that you can think of that would be improved by imitation rather than innovation?
Cooking is an amazing way to imitate what you saw on television, then go and find all kinds of different things, maybe in your backyard like snails, and add that to your pot.
Does that work for you?
It has in the past, yes.
Okay.
It's caused 3-hour orgasms, but other than that, there's been no
Remind
other
me not
side
to have
effects.
dinner at your house.
And your meth
Maybe
lab.
you do
And your
it.
meth lab is much more efficient, right?
It has been, yes, especially since we've
Breaking
hired.
Bad. Just watch Breaking Bad. There you go. Cynthia, imitation, innovation.
I think imitation is a great thing. Obviously, it's what brought us all here today.
Oh, what were you imitating?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, actually. What are you imitating?
Oh, Red Eye.
So-
Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld. But
Yeah, so I see. Actually, the best example that I thought of was exactly the cooking. Is I think everybody, when they go into their kitchen, if they are somewhat of a competent cook, you can certainly improve or change or adjust as necessary. So I think it's a natural human thing to actually imitate and improve.
does it work? You manage people as part of your work, right?
I do.
Does that work?
Actually, I can give some fairly specific examples, but now I sound like I'm on a job interview,
Oh,
so I'd
that's
rather
right.
not do that.
And we wouldn't want you to give away any proprietary information.
No,
would we?
no. I later, perhaps with the right discussion or points and the right contract, I'll be happy to share my
Non-disclosure agreements.
secrets. Yes,
Gotcha. All right.
exactly.
All right, Kate, what's your take on this?
I think it's completely true. I think people build on other people's ideas. I think that's how science works.
Okay.
It's certainly how software engineering works, or programming, or acting, or improv, or panel discussions, television. I mean, the whole thing. You take an idea and you think, well, that was pretty good, but I could do that better.
Okay. Oh, okay. But is this then, since since everybody but Mel agrees,
I agree.
you agree, okay.
I agree.
I haven't asked you yet, but I just figured you wouldn't. But profound observation or statement of the obvious? Mel. I didn't even chat.
Statement of the obvious.
All right.
I mean, look, in law, we don't innovate at all. I don't think there's
At all?
a lawyer who's innovated anything new in the last 200 years. We copy everything. You know.
No, there is a lot of copying in law, correct?
Yep. I mean, we everything that we do is derivative. It's copying. It's
But nothing
following
Nothing
what has
really
happened
innovative?
before.
Based on precedent.
Not really.
Nothing. Even the guy who's suing Nike because he didn't put the warning on the sneakers about stomping people to
Yeah,
death.
he's not doing anything but copying the lady who sued McDonald's for hot coffee. I mean,
so you think that's a version? That's
right.
more example of tweaking rather than twerking.
yeah, that's right.
All right.
What is twerking an imitation of? That's what I've never quite figured out. Is it something derived from the Harlem Shake, or
I would not know, but I'm sure our fact checker will find out.
Yeah.
Hey, issue number 4 is the secret to a happy life: no kids and a wife. A study by Open University interviewed more than 5,000 people of all ages, statuses, and sexual orientations. When people were asked to rate the quality of their relationship, those without children emerged as happier than those with kids. They also did significantly more to maintain their relationship, such as taking time to go out together or talk, than those with children. Yet, when asked to rate how happy they were in their lives in general, mothers were happier overall than any other group, while childless women were the least happy. By contrast, men with children emerged slightly less happy than those without. I think we have footage of that explains why. You know, I think when we slowed it
That's
down, I think
astounding.
that was a theoretical dissertation on string physics.
I didn't know that we
that's
had
string
Frankie's baby pictures though.
There you go. That's right.
I
But-
wasn't sure.
All right. Okay. Hey, Kate. Childless couples have better relationships than those with kids. Agree or disagree?
Well, I think, you have more time to spend on the relationship
Right.
without kids.
Right.
You get to go out of the house and, you're not spending all your time changing diapers and doing laundry and cleaning up after the kids and paying the kids' bills and paying for college and worrying about that and how much that's going to cost. And then what if your daughter wants to get married? Do you know how much that costs? I mean, it's really horrible. There is a lot of tension being a parent.
Yeah. But also, married women are happiest of the four groups. By
Oh,
that,
yes. We're totally happy.
Are you happy?
Yeah,
Is-
completely.
Is it because you feel fulfilled, or is it because of the Valium
It's a combination of things.
or red wine
It's red wine.
Red wine.
It's the red wine.
There you go.
And champagne.
and champagne?
Champagne.
Okay. Hey, Cynthia, what's your take on this?
Champagne.
Champagne.
My drink of choice. Well, actually, I can believe that dinks are happier than folks with kids.
With their relationships, not about life in general.
Well, yeah. Well, I can believe that too. The one thing that really perplexed me about the study, though, I don't know if you caught this, but this was done amongst British couples,
Right.
And they said a lot of things in the marriages were improved over a cup of tea. So I'm curious to know: does anybody know if that's a euphemism for a 3-hour orgasm?
Would not know.
So yeah,
Mel,
I'm really
you're-
curious.
You're married with kids.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself happier than your male counterparts that are childless?
I'm happier than my male counterparts who are childless.
Dudes like me. Dudes like me.
No, I have to say, look, I have a great relationship with my daughter. Not so much with my wife, but
No, happiness in general. Happiness in general.
that's what I mean.
Okay.
Generally, I'm unhappy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
No wonder you're so interested in those orgasms.
That's right.
All right,
Maybe
Frankie,
we
I'll
can
give you
organ-
10 seconds because that's how much time I got left.
I don't regret not having children. I think they would have been fulfilling to my relationship with my husband.
Right.
But I'm loving being married to him without kids.
Okay, so you're happy overall.
Overall,
Okay,
it's good.
all right.
Life is good.
All right. So, all right, I guess we're on to our second break. And welcome back from our second break. We're at the fact-checking segment, and this is where we find out what we went wrong during the course of the show. And for that, we join John Vink, the host of KMVT's only live show, John Wants Answers. John, how'd we do?
Thanks, Jim. I don't know where you find these buffoons, but you find them week after week after week. So, first of all, Jim, you're so vain, I bet you think people watch this show.
No, I wish people watched the show. I aspire to it.
I think you got maybe too much praise as a child.
Yeah. And, no, I'm Asian. I had Tiger Mom. What are you talking about? I got the you suck. You're never going to be any good. B+, that's a terrible grade.
That's right.
I think you turn to see where your parents are coming from.
Oh, there you go.
So you became an attorney.
They
Poor
want
baby.
to become a doctor.
So, Kate, I need to correct you. Jim is not a brilliant man.
I
hate to
was-
burst your bubble.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was trying.
Yeah.
And the side effects of learning Italian on drugs is learning Romulan
That could be useful.
in certain circles.
Wait.
Comic-Con.
Nanu. Oh.
It's not random.
So, Frankie, you're a real downer regarding taking drugs. I gotta tell you that.
Well,
She's a nurse. She has to be, right?
Do we get kickbacks?
no, but I'll kick you in the back just a second, please. Oh, la-di-da-di-da-da.
And don't
Better than the
advertise snails if you want anyone coming to your house for dinner.
That's
Right.
Unless they're French.
Oh, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Ah, c'est du français. Mais c'est ce son.
Oh, merci beaucoup.
Ah, ça, je ne pas de
oh
quoi.
my God. Here we go.
I'm looking for the subtitles on the
Some more
monitor.
drugs to learn
That's
French. Right. Mel, you had nothing to do with your daughter's self-esteem. In fact, you should ask her for some praise.
Oh, no.
I think volunteering for drug trials is a good career choice for you. Again, I don't have to repeat this again, but you can't give anyone an orgasm for more than 1 minute. Oh, and marriage counseling.
Once again.
Once again.
Cynthia, I'd love to teach you a romance language.
Oh.
Twerking is an imitation of doggy style.
I was not aware of that.
I was not aware of that
What?
either.
Wow,
No,
thank
and
you
if
for
you-
that.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
That's
There's
an
an
image I
image.
can't erase now.
I wrote down a cup of tea and I had nothing more.
You know.
Twerk again.
No, actually, you ever seen? I actually saw dogs mate. It's just like after what you normally view as whatever doggy style, they're back to back.
Huh?
They're back to back. Yes, I actually knew a woman who was a dog breeder, and she showed me, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. But
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
dogs
Okay.
are back to back.
How does
How does
slot
that
point?
work?
How does tab A get into slot B?
Yeah, they rotate. They rotate.
I
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I have to try that. That's a new position.
Oh, Mel.
First maybe that's what you've
You
been
might get to 3 minutes now. 3 hours.
Baseball.
Vacation thing. Even though can it bend that way for a guy? I know for a dog it can, but no for a dog.
Well, maybe
Wow.
only one partner has to bend. The other one
Yeah.
just stays, because
Exactly.
the
So
bottom
I
guy.
think you all need to do some experimentation, and we'll meet back
And
next
we'll
week.
meet back next week.
Okay.
And
And
report.
we'll report back to you.
Jim wants pictures.
We're on it.
No, I don't want pictures. Trust me, you don't want those pictures. All right. Okay, I think we can end the show a little early. Hey, John, thanks for doing the fact checking. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
doing
John.
the show.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you, John.
Everybody, thank you for watching. And for all the people who want to send us rude comments or remarks, our email, Twitter, and other stuff is down here somewhere below where my nipples are. Anyway, later.